Okay, good evening. Welcome to
FamilyMath number 914.
FamilyMath914. So, this is a book that we actually looked at a long time ago. Do you remember when we looked at this the first time?
Oh, I don't.
You don't? Okay, well, it's fine. I'm glad we're looking at it again then. It's a book called Count Like an Egyptian by David Reimer, I guess.
Yep.
And I asked you to read the first chapter today. So, can you tell me some things you learned in that chapter?
Well, it seems like they had really cool systems for addition and multiplication and division.
Okay.
So,
that's what we're going to talk about, multiplication
and division. And then it also had like, it showed the actual hieroglyphs for the addition, and then for the multiplication and division, they also used like stories to try to represent what the Egyptians would actually do in like a situation where they would have to do the multiplication and division.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't you explain one of those stories? Do you think you can do that on the fly?
So let's see. I think for the multiplication, they introduced a thing called it was a hikat. I'm not sure how to pronounce this.
Okay.
But it was approximately equivalent. It was a unit of measurement for, I think they said approximately 1 gallon of grain.
Okay.
And say, I think the pisu was how many, like what's the size of a loaf of bread where, like say you had a 10 pisu loaf of bread, that means you can make 10 of this size loaf of bread out of 1 hikat of grain.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then, so like, something would be like, how many 10 pisu loaves can you make out of 3 hikat of grain?
Okay.
And that was where they needed to use multiplication.
Oh, nice.
And you'd get 30 from that.
Okay. Yeah, and so it's a really neat method of doing multiplication. So first, what do you write down in? You're going to do 10 times.
10 times 3.
Yeah, I'll do the example they have in the book, 10 times 7, just because 10 times 3 would be too short. And so what do you start writing down?
I think it's the powers of 2.
Yep.
And then what you do is you write the multiples of 7. You multiply this number by 7. You get 1 goes to 7, 14, 28, 56, and 112. So then on this side you pick the numbers. So you on 4. So you start with 8 is in 2. 8 plus 2 is 10.
Okay.
You know that. So then on the 7 column we have 56 and 14, so we just have to add them. 70, and that's the right answer.
Okay, nice. And do you remember what you do if you wanted to divide 70 by 10?
Yeah, I think it's sort of the reverse of that. They actually put, I think you still have the 7 and the 10 here.
Well, we're trying to divide 70 by 10 though, so it won't have a 7. So it'll have a 70.
70.
Yeah, and then the first one there is a 10.
10. Alright. And then, so you pick the numbers that add up to 70.
Yep.
And then you add them. So you get 4 plus 2 plus 1 plus 7.
Very good. That's pretty cool. Why do you think this method works?
Well, what you're basically doing is, I guess, 10 divided by 10, and you're also doing 20 divided by 10 and 40 divided by 10 and just adding those results.
Okay. And why do you think the multiplication side works?
It's sort of the same thing. So, you're taking I'm going to use the example of 10. Oh no, it was 10 by
10 times 7. Yeah.
7.
Huh?
Then what you're doing is you're getting the 8 and the 2. So you're doing 8 times 7 and then 2 times 7.
Okay, nice. All right, well, cool. So I'm going to give you 2 difficult multiplication problems, and we'll see if we can do the math this way. Okay.
Alright.